Come on. And I've had great conversations with friends who I've known I've known for a long time. So thankful that we get to do this. So tell me a little bit about yourself, growing up. What got you interested in real estate?
Well, I'm gonna take you back my young child times right now, real quick. When I was a young kid living on the North Shore, I had this wig. I was like, never mind my young kid times. What I wanted to share with people, this COVID thing. Since March, I never cut my hair. And I'm so scared to go to the barber shop that this is what COVID-19 hairstyle looks like. But all kidding aside.
You grew up on the North Shore. How cool is that?
Yeah, growing up on the North Shore. So my dad was, for the longest time, my middle name was, nope, that's not me. That's my dad, the fire chief of the Honolulu Fire Department. And so, from starting as a fire recruit run and then going all the way up to Fire One, fire chief, is kind of like in the military because he was moving from firehouse to firehouse and we moved from firehouse. So the last one was out in Hauula, Kahuku, Sunset Beach. And then after that, he started moving around from there. But that was from 4th grade all the way to high school. I was living out on the North Shore. And, I never left the state of Hawaii. I don't know about your kids nowadays, but I think my kids, they've been all over the mainland, Disneyland, Disney World. Back in that day, we went to the beach and then we went home. That was it. I never left the state of Hawaii till I was 18 to go off to go to school. So I never knew what it was like to travel. So I was really one country bumpkin back then. And I gotta apologize, this is how hard up for fun we was doing. The Polynesian Culture Center at night, the buses would leave and we would hide in the bushes and then throw rocks at the tourists on the bus, and they'd be all all sleeping people. You see all the lights come on and everything. We must have been thinking what the heck is going on? We come to Hawaii with the spirit, and somebody throwing rocks at the bus, and we were just cracking up because they were leaving they're all leaving the Polynesian Culture Center, 15, 20 buses, all going back to Waikiki, and we're like, all right, yeah, I got your aloha right here. Not to break the window or anything, but just to.
I did the same thing too when we lost football games.
Yeah.
With the Ferreton, and depending on what team is on the windward side, they would have to go through Likelike Highway.
Yeah.
And yeah, we did the same thing.
Well, my sister went to Kahuku. I didn't go to Kahuku, but my sister went to Kahuku. You bring spam musubi and one rock, to every football game. But you never know which one you're going to use first. But yeah, growing up on the North Shore, it's a different lifestyle. You go hike in the mountains, you go hunt pig, you go to the beach, you go body surf, and all the McDonald's trays at the McDonald's is all at the beach.
Handball. That was the handball. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. And so that's what it was like back then. My dad, when you're in the fire department, he's 24 hours on, 24 hours off. So my mom was going crazy with us when my dad was in the firehouse, because then we'd be all at home with her and stuff like that. But it was really fun. I grew up on Kawaipuna Street, which is the street that's directly behind the Hauula Shopping Center. And here's dating myself. Over there now is Tomura's, but back then the grocery store was IGA. And I think that was it was locally owned grocery store, had Hauula Bake Shop. We used to go get the donuts when it was 1 day old, because we couldn't afford them when they were fresh. You got to get 1 day old donuts because it was almost free. You just brush the mold off. It still tastes good.
It's getting hot chocolate.
Yeah.
And dip them. It's like cracker.
Yeah. But it was fun days. I went to Kamehameha school, so I was one of the kids. You're getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to catch the bus at 5 o'clock. coming home at 5 o'clock. You cannot play sports because you got to get on the bus unless you're going. How you gonna get home? So, but those were fun days. Very memorable. But you know what that was? You about my age, right? Before cell phones and before the internet. You get lost. You knew you're like, go to the payphone or you figure it out. There wasn't like, oh, what's this app? Where are you going to go? Or mom, dad, can you come pick me up? No, they were like,
we memorized everybody's numbers. I
yeah.
could, I still remember my old phone numbers. But like, I do a whole joke where like, if I drop my cell phone now, I don't even know what my wife's phone number is. I think the reason, is that we become so comfortable, right?
Yeah.
I remember you'd have to go, hey, what's your phone number? 845-3252, 845-3252, 845-3252. And you learn how to like really use
our brains. You get lost, you find your way. No one is like, oh, dad, can you take me somewhere? No, I remember catching the bus. I think I was like 9 years old, catching the bus to go to King Street to go roller skating at the roller skate rink in town, and had one Mililani. And we used to just roller skate all day long.
Yeah.
And then you catch the bus. Yep. And you catch the bus.
Yeah, I remember that place. That was, wow.
Catching the bus.
We're really dating ourselves. We're talking about, skate land and roller.
Yeah. Nowadays, the kids get on the bus. They think they're gonna get snatched and have their organs taken out or something. Even though that's not true. But I think you learned a lot of independence back in those days, and there was no technology to get in the way of between you and the world. And we missed that. But a lot of times people say, "Oh, well, I miss the old days." No, like if it was cowboy days, you would die from a toothache. I'm not missing that.
Yeah.
I like modern medical technology today, just fine. Yeah.
Right. We're growing, we're discovering new things, and we're learning more about ourselves. And yeah, no, but I still too. I like talking about the old days. And I was just talking to a guy, another influencer on Monday, and we were talking about how my Instagram, my viral was like, I hope that this routine is good enough so that the 5 people in there can tell the other 5 like Amway, and then it can just spread. And for me, it took a while. Like nobody remembers the first 12 years of my career where I'm in front of 5 people, and then they all kind of looking at me like luggage at baggage claim, or they talking and yelling like the first event that we both did.
Yeah.
Where there's no way we're gonna win. We surrender.
Yeah.
Or we continue to do it. But like it was those moments where I grew the most as a performer, and I kind of understood that you gotta take control. I think that sometimes you just because of the setting.
Yes.
Because of the setting. Okay. So what got you interested in real estate?
Yeah.
What got you? I mean, I'm pretty sure it wasn't the one thing you wanted to do. Maybe what you in the beginning. What was your career choice?
Yeah, I think maybe it's different for you because you're making your living in something that's a creative field. But in general, I don't know of anybody that's like, I call BS on anybody that says I love my job, because truly, if you love something, you shouldn't be paid for it. So I always tell, anytime I catch somebody, oh, I love my job. And I tell them, you know what? I will give you an envelope with my address. Every 2 weeks when you get your paycheck, you send your paycheck to me, because you shouldn't be paid to do things that you love. And I said, don't say that. You love your kids. You love your family. You love, that's what you should love. Work is just a vehicle that allows us to get where we want to go. And so, when I remember my kindergarten teacher at Kamehameha Schools, Mrs. Carpenter, when she came up to me when I was in kindergarten, she didn't go, oh, Tilio, what you like be when you grow up? And I did not go, oh, I like being one realtor. No. I mean, I remember like thinking in high school, I wanted to be like one scientist on the space lab. I used to read a lot of science fiction books. I was, and so you never imagine where you're going to be today.
Just a moment.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed
Oh,
that.
sorry.
Could you say it again, please?
Cirrus is trying to jump in on the conversation. Isn't that weird, this technology? She's trying to jump in on the hey, I'm talking over here. But um, the so I was just like everybody else going through, they say on average, the college graduate, you're going to switch careers like 8 times. And 80%, so me and you, we're in the future for all the young people that might be tuning in right now. I don't know what they're going to be doing on the Zoom on 8 o'clock. They should be at the club. Oh, it cannot be at the club. They shut down. You know what? They're with us. They're on the Zoom.
Popping in and going, what are these 2 old guys talking about? You know what? It's probably going to be the best night in your life if you're open-minded and you really like understand how times have changed. But maybe even like, it's the reason why I'm doing it. I was so inspired by the little things that Sam Troy said about how he wanted to quit the first time when he was going in to be a cook, and he said, "No, wash dishes." And he was like, "I ain't washing." He was so pissed off. He went home. The mother almost gave him licking.
Yeah.
And then he went back, and he remembers that as being the best learning time and how much he appreciated the guys that was washing dishes with him. He said they made some of the best food at break. The Filipino guys, So yeah, everything, guys. If you're watching and you're a young guy, everything is, you can learn and you can grab hold of something to spark a light of fire. And that's what I'm hoping that these Zooms will do is, maybe there's a future real estate guy out there and a future cook, a comic, and that's the reason why we did it. Okay, so science. You wanted to get into science.
Yeah, so I was at the University of Arizona because I was like, you're thinking like, oh, Atilio, how did you go through this process of what college you was going? Well, it was either University of San Diego, or University of Arizona. So I went through this whole scientific process, very detailed-oriented process of determining where I was going to go to college. I never let go UH because I wanted to get off the island. I didn't want to go to University of San Diego because it was by the ocean and I've been around the ocean my whole life. So I said, you know what, let's see what it's like inland. And one of my dad's friends went there. That was my scientific approach to picking the college I ended up at. I was in electrical engineering. First day of class, the professor gets all the freshmen in the room, probably about 100 of us. It's a big university. 70% of you are not going to make it. I was like, okay, I'm out of here. I was like, and I got out of the engineering because I was like, so here's the knowing what we know now, right? Because what you and I are could be a potential future for anybody. And so this Zoom is like one time machine, right? It's the 80s hot tub movie right now. And we're coming back in time to young people that are right now and saying, here's what you should do should you come to this pathway in your life. Don't let anybody dictate your story. And I let that professor dictate my story. I don't know. Maybe I could be I have my own engineering firm. Maybe I would be working with Elon Musk on SpaceX right now. But it's okay. It's okay because what I did was I took my burning desire to be successful and I just put it into a different vehicle. And I'm feeling really blessed to be part of a real estate team where we're literally, I think for our production goals and what we've been doing consistently for the last 10, 15 years, we're probably in the top 1/10 of 1% of the agents here in the state of Hawaii. And that's because of my team. Yeah. So
at what point did you go, okay, this is it, I'm doing real estate? Because I read a little bit on your bio on the Team Lally the website, and your grandfather, bought a home and
I realized, I'll tell you what was a pivotal point for me, right? Because as you go through life, you have these like moments. I'm going to go this way or I'm going to go that way. And I will tell you back then you couldn't Google it. You either had to get a book or you had to go get around somebody that was successful, right? Now you can Google everything. But here, I'm going to segue for a little bit for the people that are listening in right now. Here's what I will tell you and what I've learned running a really high volume, successful real estate team with 22 people on our team and helping a lot of families buy and sell homes here in Hawaii. is that knowledge by itself is not enough. How do I know this? Atilio, how you know this? Well, I'm glad you guys asked. Everything, prior to we are in the information age. All information is available. You can Google anything. But knowing is not enough, because if knowing was enough, if knowledge was enough, everybody will be happy, healthy, wealthy, and skinny. And we know for a fact that not everybody is happy, healthy, wealthy, and skinny. And so knowing is not enough. What you need in addition to that, and I'm sure, and I would ask the question of you, you need somebody that's going to say, mentor you, take the knowledge, take the mentoring, the coaching, the feedback, and combine that together. That's how you achieve success. Who was one of your mentors in the beginning?
Man, you know, I have so much of them, and I was just sharing this with another interview I had early in the day, and they asked me the same question, you know, and I just talked about like how, you know, I had 5 brothers that lived in the same house, same mom and dad, same craziness, and we all went on different paths.
Yeah.
You know, my older brother, you know, was a career criminal. One of my brothers got into drugs, killed himself in an early age, and I could have easily gone in that path, but if it wasn't for mentors and coaches that said just really simple things. One of my teachers just looked at me and said something that I was hoping I would hear from my mom or my dad. I mean, my mom was a super loving. I was looking more for my dad and noticing my talent, because, you know, when you have strong men in your family and they really encourage you, it just does amazing things to the kids. We know that now.
Yeah.
But, you know, I never had, my dad wasn't that guy. He wasn't
Yeah.
that, you know, give me a hug. You know, he wasn't
Yeah.
that guy. So I remember one of my teachers who was concerned because she knew my family, she knew what was happening, but she knew that I had something. I had talent. I love talking. I love making people laugh. And she just kind of looked at me and said, you know, and I posted the video a couple days ago, and she showed me, I got all emotional. She just kind of looked at me and said, you know, I believe in you. You can be somebody amazing, and I believe in you. I think you can do it. And that's what I needed.
Yeah.
And then instead of just telling me that, she helped me through a process that really inspired me to get on stage and enter a speech contest, and my life changed forever. And then later on, you know, I'm my boxing coach who, and I talk about this, even in this new roller coaster ride in my life with politics. People, I always say, well, you know, more experience, because I don't know what you trying to listen for. I was like, what you trying to listen for a politician?
Yeah.
You don't have enough experience. And I go, you know, in life, there's a first round to everything.
Yeah.
And I think the boxing really helped me understand that there's a first round to everything. If you don't prepare, you don't listen, you don't work harder than anybody else, the first round can be terrible.
Yeah.
And you know, and like you, I've been so blessed, man. You know, I had over 143, you know, boxing matches. I lost 12 of them, but those are hard rounds. If I never have somebody in the corner going, hey, dummy, circle, do this. You know, you can get all the skills in the road, but when you're moving at 100 miles per hour, sometimes it's good to have somebody with fresh eyes. And that's why I appreciate you. And I love hanging out and listening to you, because, you know, when you said, oh yeah, I can mentor, I was like, I'm in. I want to learn, you know, because I'm not getting any younger, but I understand the concept, you know what I mean? And that's what it is, man. There's so much great people. I get one of my coaches right now, one of my life coaches who in Queens right now, you know, he needed one heart and a liver transplant. And, you know, he was such an encouraging figure in my life when times was the toughest for me about 5 years ago, and how much he bred, you know, being positive, thinking this way. And I was like, You know, you need that kind of people more than anything else in the world. I think everybody has a gift. And I
Yeah.
tell this to kids when I speak to them in schools. We all have a gift. What are you doing to really work on that gift?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, here's what I want for our viewers out there in digital land to have a big takeaway on this. I guarantee that you guys are going to get one or two nuggets of information from this live feed right now that if you act upon it, it's going to change your life. How do I know that? Because that's on ball bearing. And if you have a ball bearing, it's Garen's ball bearings. Because I have Garen's ball bearings. I would get them out of the garage just for you guys to pay attention. I have a quote, and I'm going to share this quote with you because I think it's so appropriate, or what fancy people say, apropos. I think that's French for appropriate. But it's so appropriate for these days and times right now. It's one of my favorite quotes that I've been really contemplating. We talked about it earlier today, is that change is inevitable. Change is inevitable. And I'm going to break it down because it's only 2 sentences, 6 words. Change is inevitable. Augie, what in your life is inevitable? What's changing in your life no matter what? You have no control over it. Give me an example.
That's changing, and it's not it's waking up every single day for me.
Yeah, we hope you're waking up.
Like, there's a crazy routine that I wake up, I get up very early, I pray a little bit.
Yeah. The change I'm talking about, you going for this political position, was that anything that you've ever done before?
No, of course. Never.
There's change. Are you getting older every day?
Absolutely.
That's change. Is this pandemic creating a situation where it's changing a lot of stuff?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Who would even imagine 5 months ago that when you go Foodland, Times Supermarket, you gotta wear one mask?
Yeah.
They actually stopped people. They for a while there's like, tomorrow's why not? They're like, oh bro, they kept robbing the place. We can't have you wear the mask. No, I'm just kidding. But it's new normals. It's new normals. When would you would think that hand sanitizer, washing our hands, all those things our moms told us to do. Now everybody doing them without your mom telling you to do it.
Right.
These are inevitable changes is the point I'm making. Technology, our kids getting addicted to video games, this lack of connection with each other because we rather just text message somebody than pick up the phone and say, hello?
Yeah.
Inevitable. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Here's the second part. However, growth is optional. Growth is optional. No matter... a lot of things, there's 2 kind of mindsets with people that look at things that happen. You're like, well, Tilio got into one car accident this morning. That wasn't my fault. That wasn't me. How am I going to grow from that? What is the growth opportunity from somebody rear-ending me at one stop sign? Well, it starts with your mindset because you really got to think about it. Are things happening to me or are things happening for me? Because when you're in that car accident and it happens to you, you go into victim mode. Oh man, this stinks, man. Just when I was just getting things was going and this happened.
Right.
You know what? When you change your mindset to it's happening for me. I was rushing around one time, HPD officer pulled me over, and I am the most politest guy because we get pissed off when they pull us over in the speed trap. But when you get 5 mokes next door and they're like, shut up already. You like somebody come by and tell them to quiet down without kicking your okole. You call an HPD. So we're really quick with how we like them, don't like them. But I'll tell you, when that officer pulled me over, what do they always ask you when they come up to the window? Do you remember?
I'm gonna be honest with you.
You never been pulled. No, you don't stop. You just go and you get home and you.
Hey, they stopped me one time, but was just for talk story. Like it was like
they're like, whoop whoop. Oh, Augie, tell me that joke again. No.
Was on the freeway and the cop went. They did the whole. I was like, wow, I don't know about this. Not that the wife was in there. And he just wanted to roll out with me. He enjoyed watching the show last week, and then he seen Popeye's chicken.
Yeah.
I go, oh, but like Popeyes.
Well, here for the people that you're a good guy. You don't get pulled over that often, and it's far and few between for me too. It's not like one speeding maniac. But they always ask you this question: do you know why I pulled you over? And that's going to elicit one of two directions you're going to go. You're going to be one smart aleck with the officer. No, you tell me. How come you pull me over? I don't know why you pull me over. I'm not doing nothing. You know what I told that officer? I said, you know what? Probably because I was probably speeding. Yep, you were speeding, and you did this and you that. How come you speeding? He said, you know what? I'm just in a rush, and I'm making bad decisions. So I just owned it. I'm in a rush, and I'm making. And you know what? I would say 98% of the time they like, let me off with one, friendly warning. But he gave me the ticket, I think it was like $120 or something like that. And I was like, And how I left, after my neighbors all seeing me, because it was right in my neighborhood, I'm like, oh, how embarrassing. Here was my mindset. I got to slow down today, Atilio. This is like the beginning of the day. You need to slow down. And better that this HPD officer pulls you over than you wrapping yourself around some telephone pole, or heaven forbid you hit somebody. Slow down.
Yeah.
That was my takeaway from that. Not, oh man, this ticket, this is BS, blah, 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 and yada, yada. No, I just wrote the check, paid the ticket. Either God or that officer or whatever higher power that you believe in was telling me that day, Atilio, slow down. And sometimes, do we need to slow down?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So again, I'll go back to that. Change is inevitable. Growth is optional. And are you the type of person that feels like a victim, that things are happening to you or it's happening for you? Because no matter the situation, positive or negative, no matter how horrible the situation, there is a learning opportunity, a growth opportunity there if you are like Augie and creative enough with your humor. One of my favorite quotes is from Dave Chappelle. He said, everything is funny, except when it's happening to you.
Yeah.
But everything is funny. Everything is funny, right? And I know you to me, I'll be honest with you, I've known you, Augie, and I really feel that comedians, you guys as a creative group, very intelligent people, because you're noticing and observing those things that are happening around us, but your perspective on it, and when you share it from the stage, makes people laugh.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I tell my comedy writing process is really simple. It's the first thing that make me laugh is what probably gonna make somebody else laugh. So, but are you willing to explain that verbatim, like how you saw it?
Yeah.
Because that's the, like always get one guy at the party who's the funniest guy, but when you put him on stage, you cannot do the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? And I always tell guys new to the game, I said, you gotta be able to tell that exact story to 10 people, the same way you told me.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for relatability. They're not looking for, because communication. They're listening like this. And then they're watching your body language. They're only listening this much, but they're watching your body language. They're looking at you like people know when people talk.
Yeah.
That guy, he's lying. He's lying to his team. You just kind of sense it, like.
Yeah.
And I always tell comics, if you're bombing, it's because you're probably not being true.
Or you're not being genuine or authentic.
Yeah, it's not the audience.
You're trying to be something else. And what you just mentioned, I'm going to pull that pearl of wisdom that people may have missed with what you just shared. The life analogy that you just shared with everybody is that, you can be at one party with everybody and one get together. You got like 9 Heinekens in you already. Everybody's funny in that. Everybody's funny in that particular environment. I'll prove it to you. Everybody has. I always say there's a drunk uncle. Everybody get one drunk uncle. My uncle. I'm not gonna say his name, but every time he's at the party, he's like 9 sheets to the wind. He lost his license 5 DUIs ago. Auntie got to drive him to all the get-togethers because they're not even letting him have one license anymore. But he just comes to the party and he just goes, mahalo, mahalo, mahalo. He just says it in all these different ways, and it just, you're cracking up. But to take like you said, telling that story in front of like your family get together with like 5 Heinekens in you is a whole different story than getting up on stage and trying to make a room full of people laugh. And that's a life analogy. We only make these small moves in what we want to do, but if you want to have true success in your life, you got to go up on the stage and be willing to bomb, be willing to fail. That's why people don't have a lot of success in their life. Or it's okay. You're okay with where you're at in your life. But if you want that, right? I've done 2 or 3 open mic nights, and it's horrible. Because the big guys come up. Open mic night is the excuse for everybody in the bar to start talking and get on social media and completely ignore you, and you're nervous as hell, and it's horrible. But I leaned forward into it because I wanted to get my presentation skills up. And you don't get better doing the same thing over and over at a mediocre level. You only get better in the struggle. Would you agree?
Well, I always talk about that first 12 years of bombing. First 12 years of thinking, man, when am I going to get my shot?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I could have easily just called it quits, but like I just knew, like you just know in your gut, like it's coming. And that's the reason why I'm dealing with what I'm dealing right now in this new phase. Exactly the way I'm feeling. Because you know what? I know, 1, nobody's gonna work harder than me in the room. 2, this is really something. And I told one of the mayor candidates today, and I won't say who, but he was holding sign, in our area. And he asked, how's things going? I go, you know what? I have a greater appreciation for politics, and I probably become a much better person because of it.
Yeah.
Do I like the process? No. If I had the kind of time that I had with comedy, I'll probably be the most amazing politician. But we know more that kind of time.
Yeah.
You get a couple months to try to convince people that you want to serve and you want to listen, you want to help. And it's a tough gig when you're all alone.
Yeah. And and we've had these conversations before. People, human nature, we love to complain. And I will tell you, here's your pearl of wisdom for you people tuning in right now. Stop complaining. Tony Robbins, motivational speaker, he says, here's a bigger pandemic than COVID-19. It's people complaining and sharing problems and woe is me. People love to talk about problems, right? You get together. Oh, Monday morning, you wouldn't believe what happened to me on the way to work. Oh, that's nothing. What about, my wife and this? And oh, man. And we just all huddle around because we're using that as an excuse. Oh, you know what? They suck. They're terrible. I'm terrible. We just going to be terrible together. Where it really takes some personal self-discipline and wanting more in your life to say, you know what? I think I'm better than this. I think I can do better than this. And I'm going to go do it. Because I tell you, I'm sorry if you guys is one of these people with these stickers. The ones that it's like, I no care. I think that's a horrible sticker. Like, talk about, like, what are you telling to all the people around it?
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm apathetic, whatever. And, all I can do is complain. That's what I'm so sorry if you got that sticker on your car, but think about what you're presenting and projecting to people. I think the sticker should say, I care. I care should be, I almost like to go on their car and go change the sticker around and then put them back where I care and take the NO part out. Because it is so, and for Augie and those people listening, you got to come support Augie because Augie's the real deal. And it's easy to come to Augie and complain, but this is what I used to run a lot of, do a lot of volunteer work with Aloha Council with Boy Scouts of America here locally on Oahu. And all the parents come up to me, everybody, right? You're probably getting this too. Everybody got 2 cents? If you could collect all of that and turn that into campaign funds, right? That would help with your marketing with how much 2 cents you're getting all the time. And here's what I tell people. I used to jokingly say that. I said, you know what? For those, and I would wrap up the event. I'd have 200-300 parents be up at Camp Pupukea, and they would, oh, well, you should do this. And you know what? I would cut that off at the beginning, and I would say, hey, by the way, folks, thanks for coming out. I hope you appreciated this event. By the way, if this event was horrible, my name is Augie T. And if this event was like stellar and, you want to come back again, my name is Atilio. But if you have any feedback for next year's event, please write it down on the bottom of your volunteer application. Yeah. Because that's what I would tell to the people that you're wanting to criticize Augie or come up and complain about something. You know what? Go hold signs, go write a check, go buy some Simon at your fundraisers, and vote and support Augie, because it's so easy to complain, but it's much more, you are a better version of yourself when you go and help make a change. Easy to complain, but go make a change.
No, and that's one of the things that I'm so thankful for, because there's a lot of things that if we really wanted to keep our community clean, we don't have to rely on government.
Yeah.
You'd be like, wait, but you don't have to, and it can get done. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's one of the things. Like, no matter what comes about, in the next month or in November, I am such a better person because of that.
Yeah.
All right, are we good? A lot on me. It's not about me. It's about Attilio Leonardi. By the way, guys, if you're just watching, Attilio, Augie, Zooming with Augie, sponsored by Sweep Strategies, 533-4455. That's our number, 533-4455. Or log on to sweepstrategies.com. All right, so let's talk real estate.
Yeah.
Pros and cons. And young guys watching this right now, he wants to get in it. What's the pros and what's the con?
Yeah, so a lot of the questions people are asking, they're wondering, is now a good time to buy or sell real estate? And I would tell you, stock up your MREs, get your ammo, get your guns, put the barbed wire on the fence, and just bolt down and just wait for this zombie apocalypse to pass. No, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm just kidding with you. It is actually, I would never have predicted this, because anybody who says they had a crystal ball on what was going to happen and when a pandemic was going to happen and then how the world would behave during that is full of it, because nobody could have, you'd be the smartest guys in the world and nobody can predict the chaos of nature and human interactions and all of that and what has happened. Things are changing hour by hour, day by day, and they still are. The one thing I thought, it's always cool to be number one. The United States is number one in deaths and cases. I'm like, that's not a good number one, but mindset's very important. Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors still alive, one of the wealthiest guys in the United States, he said this: when everybody is freaking out, be calm. I'm not saying it the same way he's saying it, but I'm paraphrasing it. And when everybody else is exuberant, be conservative. And when everybody is conservative, be exuberant. And so right now, here's the stats for you factual people. Inventory is down by a half. So if you're looking to sell your home, there's not a lot of competition, because the inventory is literally off on single family homes, townhomes, and condos by 50% compared to the same months last year, because all of a sudden like, oh, I should wait. I don't know what's going on with this COVID thing. But for those of you that stepped forward and said, I have to sell, we already had a housing shortage on Oahu to begin with pre-pandemic, about 50,000 units behind demand. And now with the pandemic and people pulling their homes off the market and being concerned, there's even less inventory, but buyers still want to buy. And Augie, if you had to guess, what's happening with interest rates on loans for homes? What do you think interest rates? Up, down, sideways? It's cheap. It's down 2.75%. I heard one of my customers talking about interest rates are lower. To give you guys context and perspective, in 1983, I looked it up. You know how much interest rates was? 1983. I think I was on sophomore in high school, maybe. I didn't know. Sophomore in high school, you're thinking about girls and movies and the weekend. You're not thinking about interest rates on loans. But I looked it up, 18%. So when people's like complaining about 4%, 5%, that's nothing. That's still very inexpensive on and your ability to purchase. So Now is a good time to sell your home, and now is a good time to buy, inversely, because the interest rates are so low. And all you got to do is just get around a realtor or real estate team that knows what they're doing. We, like I said, we closed between 30 and 35 escrows during the peak of this pandemic. We did things like 3D virtual tours of our listings when we couldn't do open houses. So we leaned heavily into the technology that we already were doing, and allowed ourselves to continue to market homes and get it done. I will tell you, as a young person, this is what you guys spending your money on: trips to Vegas, cars, debt, shopping. And for me, and you saw my story, I bought my first house because I was in college and I was going to rent, and I couldn't afford to rent. My share was $300. So I bought on house. I found one house. I bought it for $62,000 in was April 1990. I got roommates. I rented out everywhere. I had one guy in the living room, in the den, in all the bedrooms, bunk beds. My share of the mortgage, $50. It was actually cheaper for me to own a home than to rent. And I had mortgage interest reduction and all of that. And I bought the house when I was like 21, 22 years old. I used my Pell Grant. Sorry, Pell Grant people, I know I was supposed to use them for tuition. I borrowed money from my dad. I couldn't even afford the commission to the realtor, so I had the realtor take a note. And then I took another note to the owners, and then I assumed their first position loan. Here's the point that Tony Robbins, he's the best. He says this: from going in all these countries all around the world, talking with millions of people, did you know, to get Tony Robbins' cell phone, to have personal coaching from him for 1 year, guess how much that costs? $1 million.
Oh gosh.
$1 million. And you don't even talk to you till you write the check and it clears. You get his personal cell phone and you get him as your personal coach for 1 year. So he's literally, I mean, he's coaching like heads of states, multi-billionaires. That's who he coaches. He's been doing this for 40 years. He noticed this about successful people: they had this one thing in common. Would you like to know what it is, Augie?
Of course.
This is called setting it up.
I hope everybody else wants it. Come on.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that on next week, Friday's Zoom. No, we're going to tell you guys right now. It's like that cliffhanger at the end of the episode. Oh, next week I'm going to share that with you. And I'm going to share it with you right now.
It's been a Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah.
Like people, let's go to a commercial break.
But we're going to come back with this huge piece of information right after this commercial break. You like give them the sweeps commercial break? This show is brought to you by Sweep Strategies. If you want to know how to exterminate your mortgage, what's the number they got to call?
533-4455.
Yeah, but everybody right now in the comments are like, Attilio, already, come on already, tell us already, god dang it. Here's what he noticed about successful people. It didn't matter if they started with a wealthy family. In fact, probabilities of second generation, they blow all the wealth because they didn't go through the blood, sweat, and tears of earning it.
That's interesting.
They did not. Second generation blows the money. 90% of the time, they blow the money. Very rarely do the parents, because the parents earned it from zero and went to that, and they know how to keep it because they knew how hard it was to earn it. And so here's what he noticed about these people that were successful, and not only successful, not like one-hit wonders, but successful long-term, long-range, legacy, multi-generational. Resourcefulness. And there's a difference between resourcefulness and resources, because a person that is a victim will say, I'm not smart enough. My parents know more enough money. I know more enough money. I'm not smart enough. I didn't finish high school. I didn't go to college. All of those are excuses. And here's the thing I'm going to tell you guys, and this is one slap in the head to you right now for everybody. You don't need more than one excuse. One will work. So if you got 5 of them, just eliminate the other 4, because all you need is one excuse to hold you back.
Right.
And lack of resources is an excuse, because if you look at every self-made millionaire, successful person in whatever field they started from zero. But when they came, like for you, Augie, you came to a roadblock in your life. What did you do to get around it?
I never got right straight through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called there, and I did this to one of my guys on the team. I said, hey, get one TED Talk. It's called Everything is Figure Outable. I didn't realize there is no TED Talk. It was like some separate Facebook video. But you know what that kid did? He figured it out and realized that it wasn't a TED Talk. He's like, oh, Tilio, he's yanking my chain. There's no TED Talk called Everything is Figure Outable. But this lady named Maria something something, she did a talk and she learned this from her parents. Everything is figure outable. Everything. Everything is figure outable. If there was enough momentum and money and energy behind cancer research, we would have a cure for cancer right now.
I honestly believe that.
Yeah. Everything is figure outable. And again, I'll leave this with the people right now. Where you're at in life is based on the choices you make. Do not blame your parents. Do not blame your education. Not good looking enough. I don't have the right clothes. I don't have the right friends. That's baloney. That's baloney, because you're only going to use those as excuses for what, where you're at in life. I'm sorry, folks. I'm going to give it to you. Augie, should I give it to them straight or should I sugarcoat it?
Straight. Give them straight. They need to hear it.
Where you're at.
Now more than ever, I promise. If you just listen to this, maybe we'll stop protesting.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll stop blaming and pointing fingers. And we'll just look at everybody for what it is. You know, if you go ahead, give them.
And here's where it's at. Where you're at in life is based on the choices that you've made. I'll say it one more time. Where you are at in life. If you're looking to the external for the reasons why you're at in life, it's right between your earlobes. 90% of success, if not 100% of it, is your mindset. 2 people are going to get up tomorrow morning. Everything identical. Same socioeconomics levels, education, clothing, house, car, wife, spouse, kids, dogs, pets. Everything's identical. One's going to get up and say, man, today is one really terrible day. I think it's going to be bad today, this COVID-19. Other person, same identical situation. Today is going to be awesome. I am going to seek the opportunities. I'm going to get around people that want to make a difference. And I, not somebody else, I am going to get out there and move the needle in this world. They're going to have two different outputs. They're going to end up in 2 different places in life, everything remaining equal. If you don't believe that, then you need one in the head, and you need to, I don't know, get around some different people, different books.
I mean, you know, you look at what's happening in the world right now more than ever, we should really, if you're a young guy watching this, it's so easy to blame your environment and blame stuff from the past. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be, you're supposed to be learning. Like I do this joke, right? A lot of my friends, they're getting inheritance. Their parents die.
Yeah.
Lots of inheritance. I mean, I saw one of my friends, he's like multi-millionaire because his parents did okay. I was so depressed the other day. I went, this is a joke. Joke. You know, I was so depressed the other day. I took a look at my family tree just to see which grandparent would mess it up for our family.
Yeah. Was that one? No.
Yeah. I gave my Portuguese mom. And I gave my Portuguese mom. I go, Ma, you know you can change everything.
Yeah.
You can switch the way our family is right now. If you just got $1 million life insurance.
Yeah.
Think about this. You're gonna leave me with $250. You're gonna leave Ernie $250. And now we know how to use money the correct way.
Yeah.
And your grandchildren go remember that grandma for $1 million. And then she said, yeah, but you know, one of your brothers, you know, that's how they gonna think about as soon as the phone rings. What? Mommy died.
Yeah.
Mommy died.
You know, people will, and I'm seeing it in the comments, and I'm not posting it, but people will say, hey, you know, there are external factors. I would agree with you 100%. There are always going to be external factors. If you have a human body and there's stuff outside you, yeah, there's always going to be external factors. But everything on this planet, that is creating the drama within our lives, I will tell you right now, and the goodness within our lives started as an idea. To go and be to put down another race, or to create a weapon that kills people, or some other way to harm others, that started as an idea. But you know what? So did the iPhone. So did spaceships. So did the technology that allows you to have your tooth extracted without dying, like not back in the cowboy days. I don't want the cowboy days. That's baloney. Things were so good back in the day. And you know what? There's always two times, the two best times to. Do you ever heard that phrase, the two best times to plant a tree? Because tree generates oxygen. It's good for the planet instead of cutting them down. Well, this analogy or this saying is the same with anything that you want to make a difference in. Oh, you know what? I mean, Colonel Sanders, he was like in his 60s when he started Kentucky Fried Chicken. People would say, oh, he's supposed to be retiring. He should be dead already, let alone starting the hugest franchise of a chicken franchise. But the two best times to plant a tree are today and 20 years ago. So unless you got one time machine, stop crying about 20 years ago and start today.
Yeah.
Vote for Augie. Vote for Augie. That's how you're going to plant your tree today. And do simple things. You know.
Yeah, do something for yourself. Like, yeah. I mean, you gotta live. When we say live for now, it's everything that you said. You're gonna wake up and you're gonna decide how you gonna like. I remember, like, yeah, you gotta decide in your heart when you wake up that this day will be a day of amazing change. I mean, you gotta do that. If not, it's so easy. Like you said, you make one excuse, it's done already.
Yeah. And so they're called. It's another book I read. It's called Atomic Habits, and it's called habit stacking. And habit stacking is this. By the way, Augie, can habits be good and can they be negative?
Yeah.
Is doing drugs a habit? Is working out every day a habit?
Mm-hmm.
Positive, negative, right? So here are the habit stacking things that I'll leave you with. Working out tomorrow morning does not start with tomorrow morning. It's how early are you going to get to bed? Are you going to hydrate before you go to bed? You want to jump out of bed and be ready to work out? Go to sleep in your shoes, your shorts, and your tank top. No, I'm serious. Just jump out of bed. As soon as your eyes wake up, jump out of bed, shoes on, run out the door, walk for 1 or 2 miles, come back. Because I'll tell you, between when your eyes open and you go put on the exercise gear, life happens. Kids, breakfast, my cell phone, Twitter, Facebook. But if you just get up, and so it's called habit stacking. And then when you start off your day like that, next thing you know, this and this and this. You know, make your bed when you get up in the morning. Hey, did you make your bed this morning? And you can be honest or not. I mean, it's up to you. It's no judgment.
You know why?
What's that?
My wife is still sleeping.
Yeah.
And I get downstairs and I'm out of the door because I'm holding signs.
There you go.
Like 5:15, 5:20. And, you know, and I'm telling you, that's one of the coolest things about what I'm doing right now is so much encouragement from that. So much. You know, when you're out there and you're tired, but then you get guys doing they get the different way of shotgun. Get that. They get this, they get the half lazy shotgun, they get the solid shotgun, they get the shotgun, and they get the point. It's like the most coolest thing. Or the honking. You're out there. At 5:30, the sun is just rising. You know, it's just amazing energy and amazing encouragement when you're having a tough morning and you don't wake up and do this. And go. And you know,
well, when people get up in the morning, the first thought in your mind is going to dictate the rest of your day. And I'm telling you that right now, it's going to dictate the rest of your day. So you ultimately have control over whatever you're thinking and whatever, you know, the people you're going to hang around with, the people you want to associate with, wherever you're at in life is based on the choices that you've made. And people will fight you on that. No, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. What about the homeless guy in the park? You know, granted, there are some people that have mental issues, right? Like actual mental issues, and it's, you know, they can't help themselves. But I'm talking about the 99.9% of the rest of the world, and
None of us.
yeah, the
Yeah.
rest of us that are choosing mediocrity over. And I'm not talking about having piles of money in the bank. I'm talking about like when you're walking on the street and you see a piece of trash on the road, pick it up and put it in the trash. Mother Teresa said this: if everybody swept their front porch, what a cleaner world we would have. So it's not Seating County, it's not the politicians, it's not the state workers, it's you cleaning up your yard, cleaning up the sidewalk in front of your house. And when you're walking around and you're going throughout our community, you clean them up, not the politicians, not, you know,
Yeah. No,
Opala.org.
it's some of the things that like I look at now more clearly because I know the process, or I heard how the process is going. I'm going, man, there's so much good people in this community. I look at guys like Malcolm Ching up in Waikele.
Yeah.
You know, his association. They went to plant grass, save the city, and you know, and the area so much money because he just asked, and then people came out and planted grass. You know what I mean? I remember growing up in Camp One housing, and just a bunch of my dad's friends and neighbors, they went and painted the building. I don't care what anybody says. When you're a young boy and you see something new and fresh, that's new and fresh.
Yeah.
My dad took it a yard. Like I said, he wasn't the most smartest guy, but he took it a yard. Everything was clean. And that does something to you. It does something to you. I think if we all just kind of took responsibility like that in our community, man, think about how much you'd be inspiring the next generation of kids.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, I become a lot better, I'm a lot better as a person knowing that, because that's something that I'm like really honestly,
Yeah.
win or lose, I can really grab hold and say, look, we can make our communities better.
I'm gonna speak it. You're gonna win. You know,
Yeah.
you're gonna win.
You know, we in our hour already, right?
Yeah.
So before we get to the next question, I know you like give away because I saw you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I know you got to give away. The last question is gonna be, and this, I love this question because all the people that I've interviewed, they got some really cool answers to this question. But what have you learned personally because of COVID-19?
Because of COVID-19. You know what I've learned? I've learned personally is that I think for me it's really kind of made me kind of reevaluate. I think it helped me reshift what is a priority, and I had already been doing this, but really emphasized what's important for me personally, and that is the relationships in my life. Because I'm at that point where it's like, you know, it making the money and all of that, and have, you know, money is just, it's an inanimate thing. You know, so many people misquote the love of money, that money is the root of all evil, when the actual quote is it's the love of money. And I don't have a love of money, but money is an inanimate object that allows you choices and opportunities to go do things. And if you want to go save the world, you can have the biggest brownie bake sale on the planet, but how about be successful enough to go write a check for $100 grand? You know, I got a good friend of mine, Charles Hulin. He's a guy that started from prison, drugs, sleeping on his parents' couch, to having a successful brokerage. And he wrote a check for $100,000 for Waianae Elementary School, from zero to hero. And so, you know, I'm not talking about, you know, here's the thing I want to leave with everybody is, here's what I realize is that we got to get on these forums, and we got to pass and be more diligent about being positive and uplifting, because the media is just crazy. That if you watch the media, your perspective is the end of the world. It's not. It's not. We're going to get through this. Everything's going to be fine. They're going to come up with a vaccine. There'll be another pandemic. We'll be better prepared for it. I want to leave our listeners and our viewers with this. 30 years ago, I asked a guy, this guy named Hal Golden. He was financially well off, independent. I said, and I was in my 20s. I said, Hal, what would be one piece of advice that you would give to a young guy like me so I can be successful like you? He said, get this book and read it once a year.
I'm waiting for the book.
And you're waiting for the book.
What book is this?
How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And people are saying, well, you know, how do I make this big difference tomorrow? Well, here's what I'm going to leave you guys with. It's so easy, and you can give it away tomorrow, and it's free, and everybody owns it. And if you give it to somebody else and it's free from you, it'll make a huge difference in that life, in that person who you're giving it to, and it doesn't cost you anything. Do you know what that is? What you can give to someone tomorrow? A smile. A smile. It costs nothing but gives much. It enriches those who receive without making poorer those who give. It takes but a moment, but the memory of it sometimes lasts forever. None is so rich or mighty that it cannot get along without it, and none is so poor that he cannot be made rich by it. Yet a smile cannot be bought, begged, borrowed, or stolen, for it is something that is of no value to anyone until it is given away. Some people are too tired to give you a smile. Give them one of yours, as none needs a smile so much as he who has no more to give. So that's what I would tell everybody tomorrow.
Yeah, you know, they tell you too. You wake up first thing in the morning, in your gym shoes,
Yeah,
your gym shorts and your gym shirts. But try tomorrow. Just wake up and just smile.
and smile. And then when the first person you see in the morning.
Yeah, no matter how hard it is, it does amazing things. Like,
now, small kids are going to start crying, and the mommy going to say, that's okay. He's a little bit crazy, but he'll be all right. But smile.
that was awesome, man.
Yeah, because you know why? When you guys hold the signs on the road, that's what you guys do. You're like,
yeah.
And
doesn't take much, man. Doesn't take much to do that.
you guys are passing out smiles.
I kept myself. And the only cool thing about COVID for me is like sometimes, you know, I'm extra tired. Yeah, nobody can see me yawning.
Exactly. And you're like, oh, this guy's boring. But good thing I got my mask on.
When I'm out there by myself some mornings, you know, the guys show up late, but like, you know, you gotta pick yourself up. I'm going, lucky man, I have that mask. Nobody can see me.
You are yawning and stuff like that. You know, I want to add a shaka to your inventory of shakas. And it's the shaka that the old Hawaiian farmer used to use this shaka to milk his cow. That's how you milk your cow.
Can we tell everybody about the big giveaway?
Oh, yeah.
Atilio is going to give away some stuff. I got to say hi to Jan Al, Justin Chung. Let's see, who else is on this? Oh, man. Oh, Jody Kono, what's up? And Romeo Collado, Mary Colbert, Jack James is also, Raquel, what's up? Vincent, Christy, and Peter Braun. Thank you guys so much for watching. Okay. I love it. Now, you know, all my other guests in the future.
You gotta bring prizes. So I got these gift cards. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I can count. Ocho. So I got 8 of them. Now you're thinking, oh, they must be like, maybe they gift cards with nothing on them, and then I'm gonna give you the Starbucks, and I'm gonna be in the bushes with the video camera while you're trying to pay for your coffee with an empty Starbucks card. No, there's money on them. So we got one $5 one, McDonald's. I'm loving it. We got free French fries, but that's the cheap ones. All the rest, Walmart, Subway, Victoria's Secrets. I know the guys, you really like the Victoria's Secret ones. The Starbucks, Target, Home Depot, $25. All you got to do is repost this for Augie in your whatever, your groups or whatever. Send him one snapshot of that or proof of it to Augie. And then send him your address, and he's gonna forward it to me, and then I'll pop. I just gonna put all of these in one bag, and I'm gonna pull them out. So don't get all hoo if you get the free French fries.
I wanted the Victoria's Secret.
I just go randomly draw. So 8 people, every single one of you is gonna be a winner. That's all you gotta do is repost this for Augie, spread the news, spread the good cheer. Send Augie your address, and then I'm going to send you these 8 gift cards. Everybody's one winner chicken dinner.
There you go. So share the video
Yeah.
And make sure that you send it back to me so that I can get it, so I can get the information and
Show 'em the
send
proof.
you a gift card. There you go. Another fantastic evening of Zooming with Augie. Next week's guest, I have Eric Kahale Lehua. I'm talking to BJ Penn. I've been trying to get BJ Penn for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna see if I can get him this next week. And I'm gonna get an astrologist, psychic next
There you
week.
go.
I'll talk to him. You know? Yeah.
Augie gonna win. Yes, that's my prediction.
And I'll talk to a politician. I'm gonna tell you who.
Yeah.
It'll surprise you. But I love doing this. One of my favorite quotes is, and I share this all the time with people: the best exercise for the heart is lifting one another up. And that's what we're doing every night with Zooming at Augie. My guest tonight, Attilio Leonardi. Thank you, sweet. Thank you, everybody.
We're gonna like wrap up music.
Milk the cow. Milk the cow. 533-4455, sweetchallenges.com. You guys have a great evening. We'll see you guys on Monday. Aloha.
I'm gonna hit my end broadcasts.